Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new League of Legends video. So I want to have another discussion type video with you guys talking about a topic that I feel like has been on my mind for a very long time. And this one's going to be talking about the new era of assassins and just how builds are used on certain champions now and how it's a lot different than what the initial intention was. And overall, just how it feels like whenever champions are able to do certain things that you feel like maybe they should not be able to do. But before we jump right into the topic, the question of this video is, what champion do you consider to be unfair in League of Legends? And if you end up enjoying this type of video, then let me know by hitting that like button. Alright, so playing a real assassin champion with their intention in terms of build and playstyle is something of the past now, it feels. With how the current meta has been playing out for the past few patches and even now still, it almost feels like there is a new era of assassins and how they should overall just be played. It feels like the new era of assassins is all about making them a fighter assassin type champion where they can both do burst damage and be extremely tanky while dealing consistent damage. Almost as if you're taking the best of both worlds and putting it into one. So it almost feels like the recent meta is somewhat of a pseudo tank meta. For instance, Echo. He was built to be played as an AP champion, a true assassin, yet once Tank Echo was discovered, it was just simply better in almost every single way. Not only because he was still doing a lot of damage, but he was insanely difficult to kill to the point of even being more difficult to kill than an actual tank. And clearly it took Riot many patches to bring him off of his throne, and even now, it still is not 100% sure that Tank Echo is done for. But why was he so successful as a tank champion even though his design intent was to be an assassin? Well, he offered CC, he had great base damage in his kit, he had a heal, and he did percent damage as well. And when you do as much damage going mainly tank items with maybe 1 or 2 damage items as opposed to going full AP as Tank Echo, well, I mean, just what's the point? So full damage on assassin type champions now just feels too risky and unreliable. Building 1 or 2 damage items into a full tank build seems to just work out better in almost every single way. But there are obviously more examples because now we also have Fizz, who is supposed to also be a full AP assassin champion, and even though he's still very successful at that, tank or bruiser Fizz, aka going Iceborne into tank or Triforce into tank respectively, is just as good if not better. But it begs the same question, why does this also work on Fizz so well? He too has CC with his ultimate, even though that's about it, but his kit and how it just overall works together with his W doing percent damage based on missing HP, it just comes together perfectly, plus the damage increase on his ult, the on-hit proc on his Q, and being able to avoid damage to the point where killing him feels almost impossible, and when you do finally hit him, he's not really taking that much damage. It just feels very annoying. It is extremely similar to Echo, so why build him full AP when you can go a pseudo tank Fizz build and do just as well? He can still easily burst champions and squishies, but instead of dying if he misplays, well, he'll just take a bit of extra damage now and then he can do it all again without dying. So the point I'm trying to get across is the fact that a lot of champions that were supposed to be played one way, aka some kind of glass cannon assassin build, are being played to extreme success by being played almost in the complete opposite way. All because of just how much stats the tank items offer and just overall how the meta plays out. But then there's another example, Diana, a champion that is listed as a fighter mage, even though that just doesn't really seem to fit her that much. When you think of Diana, what do you think of? To me, I think of a champion that can build tanky AP, is very hard to kill with her stats plus item stats and her W, plus she can also easily assassinate a target with her extremely high base damage, and then following that it's very difficult to kill her after she finished her job of assassinating a target. Now I'm not trying to say that she's OP or broken or whatever, it's more of just the playstyle feels a little bit awkward. So essentially Diana is able to go from a fighter being very tanky and dealing nice consistent damage with her auto attacks and W, to an assassin landing her Q, alt Q, auto attack with a Lich Bane, back to a fighter after she assassinates her target where she does consistent damage once again and is very difficult to kill. So overall, this new era of assassins just feels a little bit odd, and this also applies to many other champions, ones that aren't considered quote-unquote assassin champions, but they play somewhat similarly. For instance, we have Aurelia, Riven now, Illaoi, where they can build 1 or 2 damage items, go pure tank, and still do an insane amount of damage just because of how their kit works. To me, this is a big reason as to why ADC people always complain about their role, and I don't really blame them. I mean, a lot of the times they're facing champions that can probably kill them very easily, but they also build these pseudo tank type builds where not only is the ADC getting wrecked by them, but they really can't do anything to kill them unless the ADC is just severely ahead. The current meta just feels like it's tanky champions that are hard to kill but still do a lot of damage, so maybe even like Swain or Vladimir. Building full damage on assassin champions now just does not get the job done, and this is why you don't really see a lot of Talons recently, maybe a lot of LeBlancs, and even not so many Zeds, even though he's still getting banned a lot, because simply they just don't really get the job done as well as many of the other current options. But speaking of Zed, I mean, even a few patches ago, if you saw in the LCS, Gank by Mom built Zed as a tanky bruiser in an LCS game. I mean, that's completely unheard of. It's never been seen before, but it seemed to be quite successful. So you're even taking a champion that has very minimal CC, doesn't really have a flat out steroid or some true damage or percent damage in his kit, be able to build such a weird and awkward build style and still see success in a very high level game. Or on the other hand, we also saw Tank Akali be very popular a few patches ago, obviously using the same principle as Zed. But let's take a look at another example, Illaoi, a fighter champion who arguably can also be played as somewhat of an assassin now in some situations. She can even be played in the mid lane, which is also what, coincidentally enough, Gank by Mom is doing in ranked games. And I did try it out for myself and it was pretty damn strong. I mean, you have a lot of wave clear with your Q, you do a lot of damage overall with her kit, you're very hard to kill because after 1 or 2 damage items you get tanky items. You have big range with your Q like I said, gap closer with your W, and she just feels like an immovable wall. But following that, you can even do this with Yasuo, taking a champion like that, building more or less pure tank with 1 or 2 damage items, be very difficult to kill and still do a very respectable amount of damage. But all in all, again, the point of this video is to just discuss and talk about how it feels a little bit awkward that so many champions that are playing more or less the opposite of their playstyle can get away so successfully with it by building 1 or 2 damage items, going pure tank, being super hard to kill while still being able to fulfill their role. And I'm personally not a very big fan of this kind of meta. I want assassin champions to be played like assassin champions. I want to see glass cannon assassins. I want to see full AP Fizz. I want to see full AP Echo, full AP Akali, and just things like that. I don't want to see tank Fizz or bruiser Fizz or tank Echo or tank Akali or anything like that. Because obviously myself being an assassin main and I love playing assassin champions, but kind of being forced to play them in such a playstyle because it's just better, it's just not very fun to me. It's not how I want to be playing these champions. And I'm sure for a lot of people it's not how they want to be playing these champions as well, especially you AD carry mains that always have to face this and not really have a whole lot of options to deal with it. Because at least against full damage assassins, if they misplay or the ADC outplays them, then you know you can actually kill that assassin champion. Now, if the assassin misplays or the ADC misplays them, doesn't really matter too much. You probably won't kill them anyway and they'll just whack you away to death. But that is about it for this video, guys. I mean, that's just a topic I had on my mind, you know, kind of a discussion video. I like to have these every now and then. So let me know what you think about this down below in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts as well. And if you ended up enjoying this video, then let me know by hitting that like button. Make sure to share this with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, check out my other videos as well. And these were my favorite comments from the previous video's question asking, what champion do you think will be most OP with the new Triforce? Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one. Peace.